What's up guys, Megbon here and welcome back to my channel. I hope you have a good day. And in this video we are going to recreate this procedural solar panel in Blender. So let's get started. So guys, like always we need a reference because reference is king. We can't do anything without reference. So let's bring our reference. Here is 4 pictures that I found in the net, and we are going to trying to use that to create our own solar panel. So let's go. Like our reference, let's make this shape right here. Press A to select everything, then X to delete it. Now press Shift and A and add a cube. Press S to scale it to value like 0.2. Now press Tab to go to edit mode and scale it on X axis, then in Y axis. Now S on Z axis. Now select this face like this, E and S to extrude it to something like this. Now select, hold Alt and select this face like this, and now press E and Z to extrude it on Z axis to something like this. Maybe a little bit more. Press A to select everything and scale it on X and Y axis. Press S, then Shift Z to extrude on X and Y axis. Now press A to select everything and scale it on Z axis. Now we have this shape. Let's go here to have a better look on solid view. Let's enable shadow and cavity. Now we have this shape. Now let's rotate it on Y axis. Press R, Y axis, and rotate it by a value like 30. Then press G and Z to move it on Z axis. Now let's add a plane and press Tab to go to edit mode. Now take this H2 and right click here and go to merge it at center. Now let's go to front view by pressing number 1. Let's move it on X axis. Down. Now press E and Z to extrude it on Z axis. Same thing on X axis. Now we have something like that, maybe a little bit more. Now press A to select everything. Now add a skin modifier by go to modify property, add a skin modifier, press A to select everything, then Ctrl plus A to scale it down. We have something like this. Let's zoom. Let's come too close right here. Make sure this edge is selected. Now press F to fill it. Now let's go back to solid view. As you can see, we have this shape. Let's go back to front view and move it behind on X axis like this, And let's select this one and move it on Z axis. Maybe I should bring this one right here on Y axis so that we have this little bit shape. Let's move it again on Z axis, something like that. Now let's select this leg. I don't know if I can call it leg, and let's duplicate it, Control plus Shift plus D on Y axis, and place it right here. Now we have something like this. Now let's add a plane. Shift plus A, scale it on Y axis so that we have this shape like that. Maybe I can move it on Z axis. Alright guys, we have our main shape. Let's make it look good by adding light and material. Open another split right here. Press T to move this thing and this one. And let's move on to EV view or render view. Now let's go to environment texture right here and uncheck scene world. If you want, you can change the environment texture, but I will use that one. Now let's add a sunlight. Shift A, sunlight, and let's rotate it to have a little bit of shadow to our scene. Now let's put material. In this window, let's go to shader editor and select our panel. Then create a new material. Let's actually rename it metal. Let's put the name metal. And let's put metallic all the way up to something like 1. So we have this nice metal looking. And let's decrease the roughness a little bit. To maybe something like that. Like 0.341. That we have a little bit of reflection. Let's split another let's make another split like this, and in this one let's go to 3D view. Now press tab to go to edit mode. Take the face selected tool and select this face. Now scroll down and create a new material. Let's first create a new material, name it let's name it solar panel. By the way, I want to give a big thank to Ryan King R. This guy helped me out to understand all the material that I'm going to show you though. So big shout out to these guys. The links is in the description. So if you want to check this tutorial. Now let's assign it. And maybe let's close this windows, and let's move this thing again right here. And now we are going to start to making this. Let me bring up a reference. Alright guys, if we look our reference, we have this line and this, I don't know, this star or diamond point here, right here. And let's try to make it in Blender. We will start with Voronoi texture. Press Shift A and add Voronoi texture. Now let's go to edit and make sure that let's go to reference, add-on, and make sure that a node wrangler is able. Node wrangler, just check that, and now you can press Ctrl plus Shift and make a left click to preview the material. Now press Ctrl plus T to bring up mapping and texture coordinate. Now take object and put it into vector. Now we have this texture looking like that. Let's go to Voronoi texture and change the occlusion to shape by shape. Shape by shape. I don't know if I have a good pronunciation. As you can see, we have this start. It's looking like start, but right now it does not look quite good. So let's put the random to 0 so that we have a little bit of star. I don't know if that is a star or diamond shape, but it's looking very cool. Okay, now let's put the scale to something like, I don't know, something like that. And now let's add a color ramp to make it a little bit brightness or contrasty. Let's put it right here, and let's split the color ramp. Let's bring up this black color right here, and bring this white color right here, so that we have this line, maybe a little bit more, something like that. Now select the Voronoi texture and press Shift, then select the color ramp. Now press Ctrl plus Shift D. Now let's move it down to something like that, and press Ctrl plus Shift and left click to preview that one. And let's go back to our Voronoi texture and change the shape by shape to Maker Scale. I don't know if I have a right pronunciation, but come on with me, bro. Now let's take this white color and put it to, maybe we have to flip the color and bring this white color something like that, somewhere here, and bring the black color too close so that we have a little bit of start, and bring it like that, and the black color so close. Alright, now select this color ramp and select this color one and shift to select the other one, then press Ctrl plus number pad 0 to add a mix. Now let's open it and change the mix to darken, and put the factor all the way up to 1, so that we have mixing these two color ramp and these two Voronoi texture. Now we have to move our start to this line. To make that, we have to add a vector map. Just type vector map mat and put it right here. Now let's move this x-axis to something like that. I don't know. Place it on the line. Now select it and press Ctrl plus C to copy and Ctrl plus V to paste it. and maybe if we can move it a little bit on y-axis so that it can be in the center. So guys, as you can see, we have this line, and let's maybe make it look a little bit bigger. Maybe change the offset of this line because it is too big right now. And let's also maybe move again this vector map. Guys, take your time to make it a little bit better. Alright guys, if you want to have the same position in the vector map, just type these two value in x and y axis. Just enter this value 0.159 on x and y axis. Let's bring up again our reference. We are already made this start. The thing that meets here right now is this line. Let's just make that real quick in Blender. Shift A to add a break texture. Just type break texture. Let's take this vector from mapping and put it in the vector. Let's press Ctrl plus Shift and left click to preview it. Now let's put the offset to 0 and change the white color to fully black, this color to fully black, and this mortar color to white color. Let's put it all the way up to white color, very bright white color. And now let's change the setting. Let's change the width. Now it is too strong, and the height. Maybe there's less of, or against. Let's change the molar size to something like, there you go, maybe 0.01, but we can change it later on. Let's first mix the brick texture and the darken mixed, and I don't know if that will work. Let's select the brick texture and mix. Just hold Shift and select the mix, then press Ctrl plus number pad 0 to mix that, and let's open that and take the brick texture, this color, and put it into factor. Now in the mix, let's change that to darken and change this white color to very dark color or black, so that we have this line. And now let's go back to brick texture and change this line. The purpose here is to try to make this line. Let's see this picture. We have to make this line looking like that, and as you can see right here, let's go back. Maybe let's change the brick width. For me, I would just go with a value like 0.130 in the width. And into height, let me change that. For me, it's looking okay, but we can change that later on, but right now it is okay. Now let's organize our note a little bit. Select all these note like that and press Ctrl plus G to group it, and press F2 to add a label. Now name it grid. Help us later on when we come back. Press N to bring this node and check color so that we have this color on that. Now it's time to make this color. Let me bring up our reference. Let's try to make this color, this dark blue color. I don't know if that is blue. Let's try to make this color. Let's go back to Blender. We will also start off with Vernon texture. Vernon texture, Shift A, then press Ctrl Shift and left click to preview it. Let's take this mapping and put it to vector right here. Press Shift and right click to make a mirror, and take that and put it to vector like that, so that we have the same coordinate right here in this Vernon texture. Now let's move it to color. Press Shift and Control, then left click to move it to color. Now scale it all the way up so that we have this a little bit pixel of color. Scale it all the way up. Maybe again, maybe a little bit more, so that a little bit again, so that we have a little bit of noise of color. Now let's add a color ramp. And put it right here. Now let's to the black color, let's put it to something like blue one. Let's preview a color ramp. I don't know, blue one. And in this one, the same color. By the way, if you want to use the same color that I'm using, just type, let me go to close, just type 5B 678B, but we can change that later on. In this white color, let's also change that to a blue color. Something like blue. We will leave that like that right now, but we can change it a little more. If you want to use the color that I'm using right now, just type 4F7192 on X color, so that we have this a little bit of noise right here. Now let's add noise to make, because right now it is too clean. Let's just add a little bit of noise. Shift A, just search noise texture, and Shift and right click to add a mirror and put it into vector. Now Ctrl plus Shift to preview it. Let's put the detail all the way up to 1 and the scale to your liking. For me, I will go with 3.4. Now let's add a color ramp to make it a little bit contrasty. Let's put it right here, and let's bring up this like that, maybe a little bit more. Now select this color ramp and press shift to select the other one, and now press Ctrl+0 to bring up a mixed. Now let's go to mixed and change it to darken. Alright, like we did right here to break texture, let's also take this noise texture and put it to the factor like that, and also change this color to a little bit of dark, a little bit black, so that a noise texture can be visible. If you want to use the same X color that I'm using, just type 262626. It's time now to mix all that and put it into our principal PSDF. So guys, let's bring this principal PSDF too close to our darkened color. Just take this result and put it into base color. Let's press shift and control left click to preview it. Now press select your darken mix color and press shift D, then duplicate it and place it right here. Now take this darken from the grid and put it to a factor. As we can see now, we have this starting to look very good, and it's looking like solar panel. Let's look our reference. Maybe we can change. Remember, I told you later that we can change this color later on, so let's do that. Let's go back right here and change the color. Let's change this color to something like, guys, just change the color to your liking. But if you want to use the same that I'm using, just type C7C3ED. Now in this color, this one, let's also make the same thing, maybe a little bit of blue. Alright guys, finally we have our solar panel. As you can see, it is looking very cool, even in EV. And here it is a final material. Maybe you can make a screenshot, I don't know. Alright, now let's go back to 3D view, and maybe let's duplicate this solar panel 4 times. Select it, shift D on Y axis, don't do anything else. Then now press shift R to repeat the last action. As you can see, we have now many solar panel. Let's scale our plane on Y axis, maybe on X axis also, and let's move it on Y axis. I think now it is much more better. let's put material on this plane. We go with a dark color, and let's put a little bit of roughness so that we have a little bit of reflection. And that's it, guys. That's it. We made it. And now it's time to render this thing. Let's go back to 3D view and let's add a camera. Shift A, camera, and press number pad 0 to switch to camera view. Now press Ctrl Alt and number pad 0 to select the view of the camera in render. Now let's go back to output, or let's select our camera and go to camera setting and change the focal length. We can also press N and go to view and lock the camera view so that we can move it. Let's decrease our focal length. Let me see. Don't forget to check ambient occlusion and screen reflection so that we can have a little bit of reflection of our plane. Let's go back to shader editor and put the roughness down so that we can have a little bit of reflection. I think it is too much. Alright, I will go with this value. Now when you are done, just go to render and render the image. And that's it. It was a long tutorial, but my purpose here is just to show you how to make it. And guys, that is the end of the tutorial. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to give a like, share, or subscribe if you are new. For me, I think I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.